us all these years and has served us very, 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 very well. The Speaker, if I listen to the Deputy Attorney General, the essence of this particular amendment is to legislate on the type of interest that a state will enter into a contract with. Mr. Speaker, I believe strongly that this particular amendment bill is frivolous. Mr. Speaker, it is vexatious and it will be baseless in law if this House passes this amendment bill into an act. Why am I saying this? There is a traditional contract doctrine of freedom of contract. So the parties to a contract or the contracting parties has the freedom to enter into a contract, whether it should be a simple interest or it should be a compound interest. So for this particular House to pass a law to prohibit entering into a contract based on a compound interest, Mr. Speaker, it will be violating the traditional contract doctrine of freedom of contract. The state will always enter into a contract with the mind and the eyes widely open. Therefore, parties are supposed to agree on terms and conditions of the contract. So if the state chooses to agree on a contract based on compound interest, there is nothing basically wrong about it. If the state decides that by way of policy, they are not going to enter into a contract which is based on a compound interest, nobody will put a loaded gun on the state. Making a law to prohibit a state entering into a contract based on a compound interest would mean that no matter the circumstances, no matter how juicy the contract is, if it is based on compound interest, it is prohibited. Mr. Speaker, there are instances where you can enter into a contract based on simple interest, but the terms and conditions will be worse than entering into a contract based on compound interest. So I do not therefore understand the legal basis of prohibiting a state from entering into a contract based on a compound interest. Mr. Speaker, the irresponsibility on part of the state cannot compel Parliament to make this law. For instance, if a supplier supplies goods to the government of the Republic of Ghana, after the supplier has gone to enter into a contract with a bank based on compound interest, they are saying that by this law, if the state delays in giving payment of the money, interest that will be paid on the money due the contractor that has been delayed cannot be based on a compound interest. Mr. Speaker, the Contract Act governs everybody. In a situation where you are introducing an amendment to the Contract Act which seems discriminatory, this House must not pass that particular act into law. Mr. Speaker, for these reasons, I am vehemently opposed to the passage of the Contract Amendment Bill into law. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, the bill must not even pass the second reading. I so submit.